Welcome to the MrpTech podcast. This is episode 14. My name is Matt, and this is a weekly podcast where I review multiple platforms and technologies to see which works best for you. In today's episode, we talk about Cloud Ready, what it is, and how this might be something useful for all of you who use Chromebooks or those of you who might be interested in purchasing Chromebooks. Before I get into that, I'd like to talk about some feedback that I recently received from a listener. This feedback has to do with a previous episode. A few episodes back, I did a short podcast on Office 365 and SpaceX. And this message is from Kurt. And I'm going to read his message right here on the show, and then I'm going to respond to him. I've already written him and responded to his message, and I'm going to read it here on the show and go from there. So Kurt says, first-time viewer here, great video, nice content. Just playing devil's advocate here, your two topics are almost completely non-connected. Maybe if you had SpaceX and Tesla in the same video, that could work. But Office 365 and SpaceX? That seems odd. In the future, I recommend sticking to one topic. For a recommendation, doing a topic on the Hyperloop might be some interest. It might be some of interest to some. Anyways, good luck with your channel. And Kurt, thank you so much for the feedback. I definitely appreciate it. So when I first started doing that episode, the episode was originally going to be on Office 365 because I just had some Office 365 training and I was interested in comparing Office 365 with Chrome OS and talking about the differences and how I could use either of them in the school system that I am in. So the original episode was planned on being just only Office 365 specific. And then with the week of the first landing of SpaceX's first stage rocket, I thought that was so impressive that I wanted to talk about it. So I absolutely agree with you. Those two topics are completely different. There is nothing to connect those two things, and I can understand how a listener would not see how those two were connected. And I certainly thought the same thing myself. I was just really impressed with the whole SpaceX rocket landings, and I have seen every attempt since then for SpaceX and their landing. They have done 3 in a row now with much more difficult landings from a geostationary orbit satellite launch to where the rocket itself is going twice as fast as a bullet, basically coming in twice as hot and twice as fast, and they still have made the landings. What I really appreciate about those is that they are webcasting everything live so people can watch, and those who are interested can learn how this is all done. So yeah, I agree completely. They have those two things had absolutely nothing in common. And in the last few episodes, what I have been doing is I have been sticking to one topic. And sometimes I may get off on a tangent and I might talk about some other things in different topics, and that's okay. And it all basically, this just shows about what piques my interest at a particular time. And so I'll try to keep it a little bit more focused and go from there. Definitely appreciate the feedback because I agree with you completely on everything that you said. As far as Tesla or the Hyperloop, those are great topics for future episodes. I'm going to keep those in mind. And I've got a few other things in the pipeline in the works right now, but maybe in a few weeks I'll get to those. So thanks again, and I appreciate the feedback. Okay, so the focus of today's episode is something called Cloud Ready. And if you want to try this at home, what you're going to need is either an 8 or 16 gigabyte USB drive and a Chrome browser on some sort of computer that you have at home. So what is Cloud Ready? Basically, Cloud Ready advertises themselves as the Chromebook experience that you love on the PC that you already have. So let me take a step backwards, and we're going to talk about what Chrome OS is, where it came from, and then we're going to get into Cloud Ready. So first off, most people are aware of the Chrome browser. It's the free and fast web browser that is put out by Google. Most people are aware of it. Most people use it. It's a very popular web browser out there. There is an open source web browser project that is called Chromium. And this is a project in which Google draws its source code from. So basically, because it's open source, it's going to use many of the same features as the Chrome browser. And basically, it gets its name from the Chrome browser. And if you want to think of Chrome plating, the name Chromium is the element from which Chrome plating is made. So Chromium and Chrome are very similar projects. They are almost identical. So they are both web browsers. Now, Chrome OS is the operating system that is used on Chromebooks. And basically, it is a Chrome web browser with a few expanded features. And most people have listened to previous episodes where I'm talking about Chrome OS. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with that. What Cloud Ready is it's an alternative to Chrome OS. It is almost identical to Chrome OS in just about every way. So this is an open source alternative to Chrome OS. And if you go to the Cloud Ready website, it's actually the name of the website is called neverware.com, neverware.com. You can get lots of information on Cloud Ready. And I've been testing this product over the last few days and almost a week now. And what Cloud Ready is it's a version of Chrome OS that you can install on your computer that you already own. So if you're interested in Chromebooks or you use a Chromebook already, you might be familiar with the setup and you might like that particular setup. And you can put this on other computers that you have at home and build your own Chromebook. So Cloud Ready, it is free for home use. And they also have licenses for businesses. And the license price starts at $49 per device per year. And what that does, that gives you, when you pay for this service, you get support with this service. So if you're deploying this in an educational system or a business or an enterprise, you're going to get customer service. You're going to get a live chat, email, telephone support. You also get the Google Admin Console access. So you can set up filters. You can set up whatever you need to do as far as controlling these devices, much like you would with a Chromebook. You can also with the business plan, you can actually transfer licenses between different devices. So, for instance, with a Windows device, your license stays with that device only. And if you try to transfer your license to a different device, you cannot do that. What's great about this is that you can transfer licenses between different hardware. So if you want to move your license from one computer to another computer, you can do that, and you're still paying that $49 license fee. And with both the free version, which is for home use, and the business version, you both get fully automatic updates. So your system is going to be up to date, just like your Chromebook would every time you boot up into it. It's up to date, just like your Chrome browser or your Chromium browser. Now, what I really found interesting is I went to the Neverware website, and they actually list the broad hardware compatibility that they have. They have a large amount of computers, modern computers, that are compatible with the Cloud Ready operating system. And you can go to the website and you can see if your computer is listed there. And basically, they were saying that anything made from 2007 to the present can be certified. Older computers cannot be certified for what they would call as hardware compatible. But that doesn't mean, just because your computer isn't on the list doesn't mean it's not going to work. For instance, the computer that I tested on was not listed on their website, and I'm going to talk about my progress with Cloud Ready on my computer in just a few minutes. So let's talk about how you get Cloud Ready if this is something that you're interested in. Cloud Ready is basically something you're going to download from the Neverware website. And there's a few things that you need to do in order to get it to work. You're going to need a Chrome browser, and you're going to go to the Chrome Web Store, and you're going to search for the Chromebook Recovery Utility. Now, this is something, if you have a Chromebook and you want to create a recovery USB drive, you can do that. And so if you ever run into any problems with your Chromebook, you can make a flash drive of all the recovery files that you need to get your Chromebook back up and running. So once you download the Cloud Ready software, it's going to give you a zip file, and you need to extract those files onto a folder on your computer using extraction software. If you ever had a zip file before, very easy to do. And that's going to create a .bin file. So the next thing that you need to do is you need to open your Chromebook Recovery Utility, and you're going to look for the settings icon in the upper right, and you're going to click on it, and you're going to select Use Local Image, and then you're going to go search for that bin file that you just extracted. And once you do that, it's going to ask you to select the USB thumb drive that you want to install it on. And you're going to, once you do that, it's just a few more clicks, and then it will install the Cloud Ready software onto your USB drive. It may seem like a lot of steps, but it's actually quite easy to do. So after about 20 minutes, you will have a bootable USB drive. And what you can do is you can actually boot from this USB drive into a live environment where you can try out Cloud Ready, and it looks exactly like Chrome OS does. So that's exactly what I did. And when you first boot into this, it's going to ask you for your Gmail address and your Gmail password, just like you would on a Chromebook. And what I found was great was, I have a Chromebook and I have it set up the way that I like it. And as soon as I logged in with Cloud Ready, all of my apps and all of the software that I use on my Chromebook was automatically downloaded to my Cloud Ready computer. So it synced perfectly with my Chrome OS device like it should. So I was really impressed with that. I was happy that happened, and I wasn't even expecting that to happen. So then after you log in, it's just like logging in onto a Chromebook, and you have the same exact functionality. You can download apps from the Chrome Web Store, you can browse the internet, you can do all the things that a Chromebook would, except for the fact that you're not on a Chromebook, you're on your own computer. I found that it booted up very fast, it ran very stable, and I didn't have any problems running Chrome apps. They all worked. For those of you who like to use voice commands, the voice commands worked out of the box. For those of you who like to control Google by the voice command, I won't say it here to prevent people's phones from going off, but the Hey command that you sometimes use to control Google works. I thought that was great. My webcam worked. The browser, the Chromium browser, was very fast. All the keyboard volume keys and brightness display keys and all those things on my keyboard worked out of the box with no problem whatsoever. My Wi-Fi was not defective. My Wi-Fi was detected automatically, no problems. So everything seemed to work great right out of the box. Now, if you're ready to take the plunge and you're ready to install this on your actual computer, make sure that you have everything you need from that computer, because everything is going to be erased. And you can go to the lower right hand and click on the settings menu, and you will see right near the time and clock, you will see Install Cloud Ready. And it's going to ask you, do you want to erase everything, or do you want to set it up in a dual boot environment? Now, if you have Windows on your computer, you can actually dual boot, where you can select either Windows or Cloud Ready, and you can choose between both of them. What I did is I chose erase everything because I didn't have a Windows install. I didn't want to try dual booting, and I tend to lean towards just having one install on my computer. Dual booting is great for some circumstances, but often I tend to run into problems anytime I have a dual boot machine, especially with Windows. So I would recommend, if you want to try this, then back up everything and just install it. You can try the dual boot too if you have some luck with it. Let me know how it works out for you, and I'd be glad to hear about that. So once you click to install, there's no going back. It's going to format your hard drive, and it's going to install Cloud Ready on your computer. And when it's done, you're going to have the option to reboot. And when you reboot, you will log in again, looking much just like a Chromebook. You're going to log in with your Gmail account, and you'll be up and running with Cloud Ready in just about no time. So I found this very easy to use and very easy to install. The whole process itself was very simple. I just want to talk about a couple of things that I ran into that maybe is because my computer is not on that hardware compatible list. The only problem that I really ran into is the battery life indicator telling you how much of a charge you have left on your battery. I had a fully charged battery. It was at 100%. I had left my computer plugged in for a while. As soon as I unplugged my computer, it would go from 100% to 73%. And it just seemed like it was a quick drop. And it seemed like the battery was still at full capacity, though the battery would last a while. It just, the indicator itself seemed to be off from what I expected it to be. So this is a very minor issue, and that didn't take away from any of the experience that I had with Cloud Ready. Overall, it was a great experience, and I really actually liked using it. It was kind of fun to try something a little new and a little different. And so I started thinking about if I had any other issues with this operating system at all. And the only other issue that I had was when I went to install, I didn't have a whole lot of options to do more advanced things with the install. I have a feeling that this is more to do with the fact that they probably wanted this to be something that was very easy to install. And as an advanced user, I think I probably would have preferred to have a few more options and a few more things that I could do to sort of tweak the install the way that I wanted it to do. That's not really a big problem either. Again, I had a great experience with this on a machine that is not certified as hardware compatible, but it still worked great outside of the box. And I started thinking about where this would be useful. And this is the sort of market that I think Cloud Ready is trying to get into, that a lot of schools now are converting from Windows to Chromebooks because of the price cost. And a lot of students are receiving Chromebooks to use in school. And school districts may have existing hardware in their district, and they may choose to, they could use Cloud Ready to convert their old computers into Chromebooks for students to use at school. And they would save some money by doing this. Also, as these programs are being deployed throughout the school district, a lot of times this takes several years to do. So another great use for Cloud Ready would be to have students install Cloud Ready on their own computers. If they haven't got a Chromebook just yet, they would be able to use the Chrome OS operating system or Cloud Ready, which is based off of Chrome OS. They would have exactly the same features, and they just wouldn't have their Chromebook yet. So this is a great opportunity for students themselves to get into the Chrome OS atmosphere, the Chrome OS environment, and be able to keep up with all the other students who may have gotten Chromebooks before they did. Another great way that this would be useful for someone is, let's say there's someone out there who is interested in Chromebooks, but they don't want to purchase one just yet. They could download Cloud Ready, install it on a computer, and they could have a Chromebook experience without actually owning one. And they may decide later on that they actually want to go buy a Chromebook. This sort of is the first step, and they could actually see Chrome OS, see what it has to offer, and then decide later on maybe that they do want to spend the $200 on a Chromebook. My favorite feature of this, though, is that you once you install this on a flash drive, you can install this on however many computers that you like to. So you could take one flash drive, install it on your computer, you share it with your friends, share it with your friends' friends, and you don't have to worry about licenses as far as home use is concerned. The only time you have to pay for Cloud Ready is if you want to use it in a business environment, and that gets you the support that you probably would want with something like this. So Cloud Ready is awesome. If you want to give it a try and you're curious about trying something new, feel free to contact me. I would be glad to help you out and maybe help you out along the way. If you have a Mac computer, I needed to download a utility to extract the files. I can put that in the show notes. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll put that in the show notes so that you know how to extract it for Mac as well. Also, the Neverware website has tons of information and documentation on how to install, and they go step by step and show you exactly what you need to do in the order that you need to do it to make your install successful. So I would definitely check out the website, read through all the material before you decide that you want to install it. And you don't actually need to install it on your computer. Like I said, you can try this in a live environment right off the USB drive, and you can just test it out and see if it's something that you're interested in. So that's it for my talk today on Cloud Ready. If you'd like more information on that, you can visit my Facebook page. It's MrpTech Reviews. So facebook.com/MrpTechreviews. You can send me an email, mrptechreviews@gmail.com, or visit my website, mrptechreviews.wix.com/home. Please send me your feedback. I really appreciate the feedback that I received this week. I would love more of it. And give me ideas for future shows. In coming weeks, we're going to talk about a lot more different things. Got a lot of great ideas in the works, and I hope you're enjoying this podcast. It's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun to talk about these new things every week. And so thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.